Okay, I got to cut on my other light. All right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Come again on this devil platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. All righty. We're coming with a message, understanding in the spirit versus understanding in the flesh. Uh, it sounds like something I've went over once before, but it is not. Um, I never spoke on this level of understanding. I'm pulling up the twos. I'm hoping I'm pulling up the twos. And what I'm going to do with the twos is I'm going to break them down into twos. The understanding in the flesh and the understanding in the spirit. Totally different. Totally different. And this is why Sister Deborah can say the difference in the words versus the word. I was just watching and didn't want to really cut it off. A young man, looked like he about 35, and I'm listening to him talking. I'm saying, did this guy, was he on my page? Did he listen to something I said? Because he sounds so much like me in something I have been saying. And when I heard him, I was like, wow. And he's a young man. And I'm like, I like that. I like that because he even went deeper. He connected both sides of what is actually going on. He connected the so-called awakening and this new science with Egypt. He's talking about both of them, both. I mean, he putting them both out there, telling people how to stay away from it. And the way he said about the awakening, I said, if that don't sound like me. And then he pulled up this word love. He got to breaking down love is they said love is this, but it can't be because it's full of this. It just amazed me to see this young man being able to put it in his words, but yet saying the same thing. Just like when I'm going here and hearing David or Abraham, Isaac or Jacob, or more so Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel, when I hear them saying things that, hey, I'm saying, but yet I'm just saying it in today's way. And they have said it yesterday too as a warning for those that are in the same spiritual seed setting. You see? So they saying the same thing, but they saying it in just a different way, but they saying the same thing. So when I heard this young man, I was like, wait a minute, he been on my page. No, he hasn't, but I know he hasn't, but it's just the idea. I just thank the Father lately for the last couple of weeks, allowing me to see other people speaking truth in a way that truth has not been spoken of. And it just really feels good to know that and what really makes me feel good, you guys, it's not just the truth. Is that when people say things I've been saying, that just does it for me because it lets me know, see, he gonna keep it coming. He ain't stopping with you. He gonna keep it coming. And I like that for the Most High Yah to just do that. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. But yes, I appreciate the Father allowing me. And I said, when I get off of this live, I'm going to sit down and listen to his whole, and I'm going to respond to him because I'm going to say, hey, where you going? Where you going? I'm going to ask him. I said, where are you going? Because a lot of things he was saying, it's similar to what I have been saying. And like I said, I really find stuff like that amazing. Even when T.D. Jakes broke down the word as he knew it, is not the words in the Bible. And I'm like saying, why you didn't teach your people that? You didn't teach that whole mega church that you have in more than one location. You see, and that upset me, the fact that he wait till he been found in the darkness to speak a little truth, because that is the truth. But it don't make him truth. It makes me realize that, like the Father said, the truth is already in them. Even though everybody tried to deny that the truth is in them. Y'all said they can deny 24/24. It's already there, because I said that it's there, and that's where it's going to be. So I just thank the Most High for making sure I am in full understanding that the truth has already been implanted within. It's already there. Okay. So understanding, there's two understanding that came from the kingdom. There's an understanding for the flesh, and there's an understanding for the spirit. Okay. So a lot of people wants to take the understanding in the flesh, because it's more easy for them to embrace, because the understanding in the spirit don't sound nothing like the understanding in the flesh. They are affinity. That's how distant they are from each other. So when he said, in all you're getting, get understanding, that's what he was talking about. Get the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. Why? Because it's coming to teach you all things. And according for him to come to teach you all things, he wants you to get it and get understanding out of it. So that's the spiritual understanding. Then your flesh has understanding of the things you've learned. Even the things you think you learned spiritual, you think your flesh has learned it and just assume you got understanding. This is why we have so many different denominations and different religions. It's because everybody coming from, now I'm going to be honest, the majority is coming from the same book, but they all got different belief, different understanding, different interpretation. But yet you got thousands of religions based on one book. It ain't that the book has steered them that way. It's just showing you that's the understanding of those who have gone their way to their understanding. And people are so content in their own understanding. And what do he say? Lead not to your own understanding, because your own understanding cannot stand nowhere near that understanding. And when he says, in all your getting, he didn't say wisdom, in all your getting. He didn't say knowledge. He said, in all your getting, get understanding. Why? 99.15 billion do not understand that Yah is understanding. He's understanding. He is defined as understanding. If he come in you and teach you all things, according for him to be the one to teach you all things, don't he understand all things? You see the difference? So therefore we know that he is understanding, and that's why he said, in all your getting. That means when you're running here and running there, going here and going there, going here and going there, when you finish, get the real understanding. And it comes from my Ruach. They come to teach you all things. Because his Ruach, his spirit, teach you all things. And when he said all things, he's not just telling you things in which you understand in the spirit realm. That understanding would teach you things in the natural. It would teach you things in the natural. Let me say that example. About 4 years ago, I kept seeing something that was not making sense to me, why they had informed people that California was on fire and all these buildings were on fire, all these big old expensive homes on fire. And they kept saying it. But on my side, where I'm feeling this thing in my natural, and then my spirit said, wait a minute, That's not coming from a fire. It's coming from space. How is it coming from there? It broke it all down to me that this is the laser that they have built. It beams down and hit targets, but the beam is like a fire that's beyond. It starts a fire that's beyond a forest fire. You see, that's why they were finding the house like powder, but they had green trees still around them. This is how the understanding of the spirit was breaking it down to me. And that was like about 4 years ago, maybe a little over 4 years, when California was on fire. And he was telling me that because China owns the United States, that they want to use California to pull on in. They want to go on and take the land in California. So they have to do away with it as if something is actually happening there. And really, honestly, it's them doing it. They beaming down, tearing up all the expensive homes and the land. The number one, I think, land on the United States is going to cease is California. I really believe it, because that was the plan. They've been trying to get rid of that land for many of reasons. So I wouldn't be surprised real soon you'll start seeing. See, a lot of you all really don't understand. In California, you got a lot of Chinese people that lives there. I know a lot of you all might not know that. I know, because I used to stay in California. Okay, so it's a lot of Chinese people live in California. Okay, but California, no matter how rich and wealthy you were, a lot of them lost their houses. You see, and this beam was shooting down, destroying their houses like powder. And the reason why they were doing it that way is to make it a fire where everything is totally damaged. But then the spirit says, now look at the picture, Deborah. Look at the picture. What do you see? I said, it's like powder, Father. That's not a fire. It's the stuff was powder. He said, but what do you see? I couldn't see what he was trying to get me to see. He said, look at the trees. Green trees. It didn't make sense, you all. They had trees around the place in which all the houses are destroyed, but the trees on the front and on the back are still sitting up green. So that's why I say to you, the Holy Spirit will teach you all things. He means that. He really means that. That's why I say y'all need to try him out for real, because he will teach you all things, even things that don't even have nothing to do with you, but it allows you to know when you are dipping over here trying to figure it out. This here, he'll tell you, when you know you've been wondering, Deborah, let me go and tell you what's going on. And that was about 4.5 years, almost 4.5 years. Yeah. Before the pandemic. I mean, he broke that thing down to me. And when I started seeing that, I said, I figured it was some sort of something coming from space because of the powder. The houses were all gone, just vanished to the foundation. Okay. So some sort of heat brought those houses down like that, True or not, a lot of them wasn't real brick, but still in all those that were brick, they were still done like that. Because I saw that. Because the first thing I said, well, no, those are just maybe cheap material in California. Then, surely. But when I saw the bricks was powder, the houses that was once built had bricks, I was like, oh, no. Whatever that is coming from the space, it's really doing a job on them. So that's something that I felt that this country have gotten away with, and other countries have gotten away with, the power of creating that system that can come down and start any type of fire, that they want it to. And the world will sit and embrace them like they righteous and they ain't doing nothing. They ain't bothering you. Oh, yes, baby. Let me tell you something. We finna get into a lot of things here about understanding, okay? The reason why the Father wants us to understand him because he is understanding. And when you get to the point where you can't be told nothing and you can't listen, you can't hear, when the understanding that comes from the Ruach won't have nothing to do with you, no way. It don't have nothing to do with a heart and a mind that leads to its own understanding and trust in its own belief, its own wisdom, its own knowledge. Like I told y'all before, even wisdom and knowledge. You got the wisdom in your flesh. You got the wisdom in your, you got the knowledge in your flesh, but you got the wisdom in the spirit and you got the knowledge in your spirit. And you have the understanding that comes from the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay, so that's what he means when he said, "In all you're getting, pull up on understanding." You better get it, because that's me. And if you don't have me, you just out there. So that's why he said, "In all you're getting." Run around here, get your butt this. You can get this, get this. But when you finish, you better get me. Okay? So I was just wanting to cover that because I see that the Father is serious about where we are at today, and individuals who just out there. You know, he already know you out there. He know if you're going to remain out there. He knows the one that's going to be on the left. He knows the one that's going to be on the right. Whenever you get to the point where you can understand that the kingdom broke everything in twos, and once you can separate one from the other, then you got it made. You got it made. You can go anywhere in the world. You got it made. Because that's why I say, always weigh everything. Always weigh it in twos. And it'll give you the answer. Even everything that happened to you, no matter what happened to you, pull that bad boy up in twos. And I bet you come up with the answer. You would come up with the answer. That's how simple and easy it is. But the kingdom also set it as a mystery. That's why you are not going to get on this platform and get everybody teaching and preaching the twos. You're not going to get people pulling up with the twos and telling you when we all, it's a left and a right. Why you got a left and a right? Because he knows everything he set up on the earth, he divided it in twos. You see? Even when he spoke to Satan in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15, pull up with the two seeds. You see? He pulled up with the two seeds. Where you know that he is the provider of the seeds for Satan, how do you know? Because he was telling Satan that there's going to be, let's go to Genesis. Let's see what he said to Satan. And you didn't hear Satan trying to talk back. You ain't hear him open his mouth. I don't know why we think that, we have the first and the last say so when it come down to the Most High Yah. No, you don't. Chad. So in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15, he said, "And I would put enmity between thy seed and the woman's seed, and between thy seed and her seed." Now, what is he saying? Satan didn't ask him nothing about no seeds. So why are you telling Satan about seeds? Because, Deborah, I'm going to put enmity between the both seeds because I am the owner of them both. So that's why I'm putting that between there. One is going to hate righteous, and the one that's righteous going to hate evil. How you like me now? You see? So he's letting Satan know you did not win Adam and Eve. They were seeds that were given to you. Check. 99.15 billion wouldn't grip that. They were given to you. And all the seeds that you're going to have is the one I'm going to give you. Haven't y'all read Yeshua was teaching the sower who sowed the seeds? This sister was I was acting up when I read that. I was acting up so bad. I was like, wait a minute. Who is this crazy sower that's sowing the seed? They need to kick him off the farm. That's the way I felt about it. I said, well, because he's sowing seeds, he ain't got no business sowing. He should know better not to sow those seeds over on them stony rocks, on ground that has no soil, on thorns. What is his problem? Only way I got an understanding out of it, because nobody teaches it, y'all, was through the Ruach, the Holy Spirit. He said, Deborah, what are you talking about? I said, in here is talking about a sower sowing seed. Yeshua is talking about a sower that sowed seeds. I'm trying to understand, what is this sower doing, sowing seeds in all the wrong places? Father, that doesn't make any sense. He said, Deborah, I'm the sower. And it was my word. I stood back. I had no idea. That's why I can tell you something. That it was heaven that sowed the seeds. Not even the sun. It was heavens. Yah himself, the word. He sowed the seeds. And he already knew from the kingdom that they wasn't going to mount up to anything. Even though he sowed them there. Just like he did with Adam and Eve. Perfect. Perfect. Don't you know he knew they was only going to go to one tree and one only. They didn't go to the other trees, because in Genesis, it says here, and out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight. Now watch this here. And good for food. And the tree of life and the midst, and also, and in the midst of the garden, the tree of knowledge and good and evil. You all, did you know it was other trees there? They could have turned to other trees. So you have to see that it was their predestined, ordained, foreknew assignment from the Most High Yah. Because if he put them in such a perfect place where he saw everything was good, but you notice when he put the tree of knowledge and good in there, then he began to say, wait a minute. He didn't have no problem. Watch this, y'all. Watch this here. This is what y'all don't understand. Now one of you would grip this. When you look at Genesis chapter 2, and you go to verse 9, let's go there. And out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the garden, in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge and good and evil. He began to tell you about the rivers and everything he put there. When does he say there? When does he say it is not good? He never said it is not good until he did what? Put Adam in there. Because I'll be asking all the questions. I'll be asking, I said, you said everything was good until you put man in that garden. And then all of a sudden, someone's at my door. Now, why? I don't know. Hold on, you guys. Who is it? Who is it? Oh, yes, I'm busy. Thank you. I'm not interested. You should have seen. He stepped all the way back. Because I wouldn't be knocking on nobody's door around about now in this day and time, and you don't know, But let me get back on to what I said. So I'm saying to the Father, I said, wait a minute, I noticed it wasn't good once you put man in there. What happened? See, that to me, spiritually, I step into anything I see. And when I saw that everything he created was good, then he sat here and he said in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9, he created everything. Never did he say it, forest of trees and the garden and the rivers and everything. Never did he say it wasn't good until he put who? Adam in there. And now he said, it is not good that man should be alone. When did you come to that conclusion? You the one created him. You created him alone, nobody else. So when did it become not good? So when I began to ask those questions in the wilderness, the Ruach break in. And he break that thing down to me. He break it down. You hear me? Because when you get to verse, watch this here. When you get to verse, let me get it. Verse 18. You still in verse 2. Genesis chapter 2 and Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. He created the trees. And the tree of knowledge and good and evil. After he created it, why didn't he say, well, it is not good? Why didn't you say that then? You created it. Watch this here. You want to pull up in verse 18, and y'all said, it is not good. When did it not become good? Watch this here. That man shall be alone. I will make him a helpmeet. When you created him alone, we didn't. So what was it that was not good? When you saw him in that garden, that you created a tree in the midst, and the tree in the midst, one, the tree of life, one, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now man is in there, and wait a minute now, Deborah, it is not good. But when you created man, you then after that created the garden, and you didn't call it not good. But why call it not good once man is placed there? You see, all of these questions I tend to just constantly ask, because I just got to ask it, y'all, because it's there. It's there in me to ask. And that's why I have such a heart for the Most High Yah, because it's not an answer that he has not given me. Not one. So when we see this, we see that everything that Yah created, he created it in twos. Even when he told Satan, your seed and the spiritual seed. That's two seeds. Why is it Satan knows there are two seeds and you all don't? Why is it Satan knows that one seed is going to have hate for the other, and we sitting on the earth act like we don't know where hate come from? You see how thick that is? We run around here thinking that hate is just something just here because we just doing it. No, baby. Hate is detached. Hate is detached to the deal. Both gonna have hate. The spiritual seed gonna have hate toward the serpent seed. The spiritual seed gonna hate evil. And the evil seed gonna hate righteous. There gonna be two more. We just said two seeds, and hate is broken down in twos. One gonna hate evil and one gonna hate righteous. You see how heaven had orchestrated everything from before the foundation of the world? That's what you call truly crossing your T's and dotting your I's. I give him all that glory and that honor. Because when I see that power move like that, he rules. He is the creator. And I don't let nobody move that. You see what I'm saying? I might not take these words over him being the word, but I am not going to tell people who might not have the word in them, but have the words to go by. You see what I'm saying? And this is what many are doing today. They're doing away with the words. They're doing away with this. You see what I'm saying? But what you do is, if you do away with this, what do you leave the people? It's just like the what? The two what? Commandments, the two laws. One is for he that breaks the law, and he that break the law, but break it in the spirit realm, where it is a law in the spirit and a commandment in the spirit. See, a lot of people don't know nothing about that. See, you got a law in the flesh and you got a commandment that you abide by in the flesh. That's that tradition stuff that everybody trying to hang you on. But see, there's a law and a commandment in the spirit. It is written on our hearts. How you like him now? You see? Who can move that? You get what I'm saying? So there we go again with the tools. When we start to understand how the Father has allowed Sister Deborah to speak the mystery, and one of the mystery, I ain't gonna say part, one of the mystery was the tools. It has never been taught in the church. Why? Because they was afraid that if you knew there was tools, then you knew that there was two ways to see things and not just one way. And that's the way that they said that it is. See, then you can weigh what they said by the other one. And they figure, I ain't gonna give them the other one. I'll just give them the way that I know, that I want them to be known. So you can see why they wouldn't teach the tools, because the tools will show you even your way to the kingdom. It'll take you all the way there. Everything you do, you divide it into tools. What did he say in Romans chapter 1? Oh, Deborah, they know. It was manifested in them, Deborah. They knew. It was already put in them, Deborah. It was manifested. So when you run around here and act as if you don't know the difference between right and wrong or righteous and unrighteous, then y'all say you just down here playing a game. You chasing your tail in a circle, or chasing some teacher or some leader tail, and as you chasing his tail, you chasing your own too. Because when it all said and done, everything can be measured on those tools. And that's why I took the word love. I left that for the flesh. And I say Yah is give and gave. It's nothing that defines Yah's love from the kingdom outside of give and gave. You cannot define the creation the creator outside of give and gave. When you start to look for him in love, you look up for him in your flesh understanding of what love is. Because you cannot define his love outside of the word give and gave. Because the word love is a man-made word, and they got the man-made definition. But to give and gave, it is a word that might not be spelled or pronounced in the Hebrew or the Greek or in the Arab, whatever they call it, language, but it still means give and gave. No matter how you cut it, it's still going to be give and gave. So that's another thing. We want to see the two of how he felt from the kingdom before he created everything. How did he feel from the kingdom? Oh, he loved everything that everything came forth. No. In the kingdom, he predestined everything in the kingdom and then gave it all to us. Even his son was slaughtered before the foundation of the world for the remission of our sins. Before the foundation of the world. What do love have to do with it? You cannot bring that word love into who this creator is. And that's another reason why a lot of people don't believe in him and who he is, because we didn't pile so much on him to where people can't see his light. And the most dangerous thing they can't see is his power. And I think that's scary. Because once you can't see his light, you can't see his power, you just strictly in what they call a blue-black. Blue-black. That's how dark of a place you at. Blue-black. Because there's a color called blue-black to where it's so dark to where it turns blue, but it's black. And that's where the mindsets are at. So again, this is why Sister Deborah speaks understanding. Even understanding everything I just said. You have to put it all in the right perspective, just as I just did. You see, when you start to see Yah right hand and his stretched out arm, you'll realize love ain't got nothing to do with that power. That power is constantly giving and giving us. It ain't loving us. It's giving and gave. If we just take the love that we understand that word to be defined, and look what's going on in the world in the name of love. Families is killing one another, whole families, killing mama and daddy, and killing wife and daughter and children, killing husband and children, just killing in the name of man-made word love. Same thing, matching with soul. Kick soul to the curb. Soul ain't got no business up there. The Roman Catholic put soul there to confuse people so they'll never understand spirit. He sit and tell you that we wrestle even with spirits. Everything is either spirit or flesh. All this middleman soul is no such thing. It's something that was applied to the biblical. Everything y'all did, he did it in twos. We're dealing with spirit and flesh. Let me explain. When he got Adam together from the mist and he formed him, what did he say he was going to give us? Oh, no, wait a minute. Did he say he loved us so that he gave us his image? Where do you find, oh, he loved us so that he gave us his image? No, he just gave it to you because that's a part of his heavenly plan, is to give and gave us. Not to use the word we've been using on the earth in a way that is sickening, because really we ourselves can't even define it. At the same time, we said love, and at the same time, we feeling hate. But we're calling it love. And we know in the inside we feeling hate, because we really don't feel this word love to be even applied to us, because there's too much hate in the way it's being used. But we want to just use it and abuse it as a word of love. No, don't let nobody short you like that. So when we're dealing with the word spirit and flesh, when you get into Genesis, you hear him saying, I'm going to give you his image. He's going to give us his image. Let me go there. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And Yah says, they say, wait a minute, hold up, Father Yah, you're going too fast. Now slow me down. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. And Yah said, let us make in our image, in our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish and the sea, over the fowls of the air, and all the cattle, and over all that is creeping upon the earth. Y'all never intend it. There go the twos. He was telling it to who? His power. We finna throw down now. We finna make he and her. We finna throw down. Come on with it. We finna now build he and her. But we're gonna do it first and foremost with my image. See, people didn't understand the breath of life breathed in, not for your heart to pump and your brain to function, because that is flesh. All of that is flesh. Adam was flesh. So all of that you're thinking that is in you, you might think that, oh no, you ain't gonna think that, because what Yah breathed in you was his image, which was a spirit. That's the purpose of the breath. The breath was to blow into you his image. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. And Yah said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness, and let them. He always start off with them. How many, anybody in the live chat, how many was them? Anybody in the live chat? Just tell me. When he said them, how many was he talking about? And how many was he putting this charge on? Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And Yah said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. Our image, our likeness. How many was he speaking to? How many was he speaking of when he said them? Okay. What he was speaking of and to was let them. Nope. 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 In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, it says, and Yah said, let us, first and foremost, where we messed up was when we thought that us was Yeshua, okay? Or us was the angels. No, he was talking to his own power. Everything he created, he said, let. Who was creating it? He was letting his power bring it forth. His word spoke and his power brought it forth. Let. That's why in Genesis 1, you see him saying, let. The first question this old silly girl did ask, why you keep saying let like you trying to get somebody to let you to do what you are saying? Why you keep saying let? Why don't you just create it? That's just silly me. I was just a teenager, you guys. I'm trying to figure out what's all this about let. Wait a minute, can't you do it? Go on, do it. Why you keep saying let? He said, Deborah, let is my power. I am talking to myself. It's just like you. If you wanted to go get a glass of water, wouldn't you think it and then your hand pick up the glass and pull the glass up of water? Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm showing my power. It's me, myself. So when he said in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, he said, let us, which is his power. Why was he saying that to us? Because he wants to know, let his power know we are about to create image of ourselves in man. This is what he said. Thank you for saying two. The answer is two. What do you know? The answer is right there. The answer is in the verse. So here he is. He said, and in verse 26, and Yah said, let us make man in our image. So what people don't understand, they quick to say, baby, you should like what you look like because you in the image of Yah. Stop that trash. You're not in the image of Yah in your flesh. That's why I say we're a long ways from home, y'all. Our image, that's flesh, is not the image of Yah. Yah is a spirit. He is not the flesh of what you look like. Your flesh look like your relative. But your spirit has the image of Yah. And when he gave you the breath of life and blew the breath, he blew in you his image so that you too might have a spirit like unto his, which is an image of him. It is not him. The image meaning you got your own spirit now. I blew it into you like unto me. I'm a spirit, but I blew into you a spirit. Now it's on. Adam, get your butt up now. Adam couldn't get his tail up. He couldn't get his tail up with no soul. He couldn't get his tail up with his heart and his brain, his blood. Nothing can come up into that power of what Yah blew in him. When we understand that when death is assigned to come get the breath out of us, guess what? Everything about you gonna fall down. And I wonder what your soul gonna say then. I wonder what your soul gonna do then. They didn't manipulate you all to believe the soul is a middleman. Let me tell y'all, it's only the image of Yah that he gave each and every last one of us a spirit. And guess what? When you come before the throne, you're coming to him in the spirit. He ain't dealing with no soul. They need to stop that line. Why? Because the spirit has its own mind and its own heart. The flesh has its own mind and its own heart. So when the spirit comes, right now, when one passes away, you go into a deep sleep until the day of judgment. And to that day, You see, you get up. And when you get up to be have to be standing before the throne or for the judgment, you're going to be taking all the weight of everything your flesh did. But you're going to have to carry it to the throne and pay the price. So be careful letting your flesh rule you. Let your spirit rule you and not your flesh. Going back to what I was saying, the twos. You ain't got no middleman, ain't no soul. Tell them kick that trash to the curb. The Roman Catholic put that in there to keep you from ever understanding the simple things, which is a spirit of Yah, his image. He gave you his image. His image is like unto a spirit. He gave you your own spirit. Why do you all think that he gave you your own spirit? Somebody in the live chat, why would Yah blow into you a spirit so you can have your own spirit? Why? Why do you need your own spirit? Why would he do that? Anybody in the live chat can answer that. This is going back to show you that all of these different ways in this, everything can be measured out by the tools, y'all. So like I said before, if you just learn how to focus, even when you're reading, when you hear the prophets, when you hear Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Saul, just break it down in twos. And what they're going to do is they're going to be breaking it down in twos too. But you're going to start catching, wait a minute, they're speaking of twos. You see, you'll realize, wait a minute, you mean this thing really been twos all this time? Yes. All this other trash they putting in there in your leading you out of their own self-understanding. You can't leave them there. They teaching you from wisdom and knowledge of your flesh. They're not teaching you from the spirit realm. They're teaching you from the flesh realm. Okay. And you know what he tell each and every one of us, lead not to your own understanding. And if you lead to somebody else's understanding, then what does that say to you? Okay. We'll be right. Your own. Yep. It will be judged. Yep. We spirit and nasty flesh. Yep. Now watch this here. And yes, the Most High Yah is amazing. You said it. I like that. But this is the problem. It's this. The reason why he gave us a spirit is so he can come and abide in us. He said we can't worship him in our flesh. We can't serve him in our flesh. So he has to have a place to come, y'all. So he come in your spirit and abide there and teach you. That's why we needed a spirit. Every man born has a spirit because he got the breath. And the breath came with a spirit. The same way death come to get that breath, the spirit comes along with it. You see? And that's why an individual falls straight, what? Dead. Where's your soul? Why ain't you pull it up? Because it's no soul, y'all. It's only the twos. And what happens when you understand and you think that it's the soul? It keeps you from really tuning in to two things. Getting your flesh under the subjection to your spirit. You don't need a middleman in there to confound or confuse the both. When you put soul in there, you're using another entity that will cause you to battle with the simple thing that Yah only gave us. He breathed the breath of us into us, a living spirit, which is his image. He said it in Genesis 1. And when he began to say from Genesis 1 and 26, he said his image. But I like what he said in Genesis chapter 1, 26, 27, 28. I liked how he called out them, male and female. Only those two. He called them out. Why? Because he wanted them to understand you are two, you're a male and a female, but I want y'all to have dominion on the earth as working together. Somewhere along the line, the Roman Catholic has smeared it to where people think that the man is the head and he the ruler and he's supposed to do everything and woman's supposed to stay in the house. That's not the way Genesis 1 and 26, 27, 28 said. He gave her the same level of dominion that he gave him. And the only way they could erase it is to say she sinned and she got it taken away. But then when you go up into Genesis, when you go up into Genesis chapter 3, I try to wonder, when, okay, Father, why did she get cursed and he didn't? 99.15 billion wouldn't even see that. Why did she get cursed and he didn't? No one will be able to answer that. Why did Eve get cursed, but Adam didn't? Adam didn't get cursed, because the same thing Adam do, woman been doing for years, laboring and working and sweating. So whatever curse that was on Adam, it wasn't just for Adam, it was also for Eve. Because the reality of the truth of the whole matter, I don't care how far you go back, you can see that the labor was no different. The woman still labored in the heat and in the desert, in the sweat, as Adam did. You see what I'm saying? So where was his curse? You can't find it, because it's not a curse dedicated to him like it is with the woman, about the pain and being the desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. You guys, that don't even sound like the one that created everything. That curse alone don't even sound like that's something the Most High Yah would say. Because he cursed her up and down, and then him, he didn't curse him. He didn't really curse him. Think y'all, read it for yourself. Because when you hear him talking to him, you better look at her and say, well, that same curse of his, it weigh on her too. Yes. It weighed on her too. So where did Adam get his? He didn't. That shows you how you got to be careful when you're reading this stuff. You got to make sure that the Ruach, who is the word, is in the midst. You see, because once he's in the midst, he's going to make that crooked straight. He's going to wipe up everything that has been smeared in here and get it right, so it can make sense. You see what I'm saying? And you can get what? Understanding. See, a lot of people wouldn't even look at that and see that Adam truly wasn't cursed if she played the same role as him. Come on now. Same role. She had to, and even to today, look how many women are left with these children and have to work and take care of these kids. But look back up in her curse. And women, when they pregnant, they go through the birthing, the labor. Their desire shall be to their husband. I question that. Why? Because who will lock their desire to their husband if their desire of their husband is not unto them? Who would want to do that? The first thing should have been said in Abraham. This is what he should have said. No, I ain't gonna say he should have said. If they wanted to smear it as bad as they did, they should have said, and to Abraham and to Adam, he said, and your desire shall be to your wife. See, it's messed up. And I'm going to leave that right there, because that's all way messed up from the floor up. And I don't want this whole message to be about that, because I can cut up from the floor up in it. Oh, yes. Sister Deborah can break that thing down to where you probably wouldn't ever look at it and know that it said that. That's just how bad it is. And when that Ruach comes, it's coming to speak truth. It ain't caring about your lies. It ain't caring about your tradition. It ain't caring about where you taught, who taught you, and how you was taught. Truth stands alone. It don't need nobody on the left nor the right. All this good wood is righteous. It'll pull up with righteous. Outside of that, it could care less. Okay? So this is still going back to understanding. It's being two understandings. Okay? So when we understand that there are two understanding, one in the spirit and one in the flesh, you see, one must have dominion over the other. Okay? You can't have the flesh using its understanding and the spirit using it. That's why 99.115 billion are confused today. That's why they confused. They're trying to use the both. And what did he tell? Satan? These two seeds going to have something cut in between them. And what's the battle? The battle is flesh is always warring against the spirit. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all don't get it. You ain't gonna read nothing where it says your soul is battling against your flesh or your spirit. Soul ain't got no business in there, period. Soul should never been printed in this book. But that shows you that there are powers that bees that has been given, okay, the power to manipulate the minds of many. Because if you about Yah and he predestined you, ordained, and foreknew you, and have you written in the Lamb Book of Life, you're gonna be on his side whether you like it or not. Even if he has to drag you, he's gonna get you back to his bosom. That I like that, because that shows you don't run nothing, you don't control nothing. You see, that go back to where I learned about that right hand. Y'all better be careful. If Satan knows that right hand ain't nothing to mess with, I don't know why humans think that they can mess around with that right hand. Baby, you don't know what you're messing with. And that's what I told my son. If anything happened to you when you going all out here because you ain't got sense enough to know how dangerous it is going to all these different countries, when you get in trouble, you just say, and I don't care about what name, you just say, call on the God of your mother. That's it. That's it. You don't call on your mama. You call on the God of your mother. I said God of your mother. He might not even remember Yahuwah or Yah that I say, but say God and tell me. Ain't nobody on this earth ain't going to tell me he ain't going to pull up. I've known him like that. I've known him. And do you know that young man know for sure that if I get in trouble, I know who to call on, because he knows when I say it to him, I don't play. And he don't test me in it. It's like, okay, mama, I will. Okay, thanks. He takes it serious. Ain't got sense. And out here going all over the place. Like you rule. So this is another question I like to ask. How many wives did Noah have? Noah, Ark. How many wives did he have? Anybody know? How many wives did he have? How many wives did Noah have? How many? He had one wife, right? Well, why was his kids different nationalities? Why was his 3 sons considered different nationalities? If him and his wife had the same kids, how did they become different nationalities? Anybody know? How did each child become different nationalities? Yep. One wife. But how can you get different nationalities out of a man and a woman that had children? Anybody got that answer? If you can, please help Sister Deborah. Help this little old hen, please. I sure like to know that. So you said maybe the father wanted it that way. So you think the father wanted 3 nationality out of one man? what today, how can three nationalities come out of one man's womb? Now, you're not talking about Jacob. You remember Jacob had different wives. You get what I'm saying? Now, you can see the different nationalities a little bit that way. But you're talking about Noah, who only had one. So how can three nationalities come out of one individual? The parents had different nationalities. Noah and his wife, I thought they were the same nationality. They were the same, weren't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all colors. We ain't talking about colors. We want to pull up with nationality. Because now we beyond the color, baby. Let's pull up with the nationality. Since we said that it's three sons and they represent three nationalities, how can that be if they came from a mother and a father of one nationality? Okay, so your father had two nationalities, and so did your mom. Okay, so that could be it. That could be it then. That could be it. To where each one of them might have had different nationalities. Like his wife could have been a different nationality, two different nationalities. And then he himself could be two different nationalities, right? But the children married different nations. They did. But the children themselves, see, it never's going to come from the woman bloodline. You get what I'm saying? Like they say, they said, what's his name? Ham married the Canaanite. You remember? I can see his children, but where did Ham come from? Where along the line that he became, what was his nationality? What was Shem's and the other young man? What was their nationality? Which make me of four nationalities. Okay. So you could actually put out different nationalities. So that could be it. Maybe but you know, in Noah, it wasn't said that he was different nationality. See, you can birth different skin tones, but as far as him being a different nationality and more than one type of nationality, wasn't his father one nationality? I thought that Noah, because he was so special, you know, he came out like an albino or something like that. But yes, I just brought that up because that was one of my questions I wanted to ask and see if someone had it because I noticed that the three sons by his wife and him came out as three different nationality, and I thought that was really strange for them to come out three different nationalities. Now, when you talk of Jacob, he had children by different women. Okay, he had children by different women and their handmaid, you know, and I could see them kind of getting mixture, you know. So when you say with Jacob and all of his, I always thought that the most weight is from the men. A lot of women really don't really know that the weight is not from them. It is from out of the lineage and out of the womb of a man. That's why he didn't create Adam and Eve at the same time. That was to lead us to understand there's a reason and a purpose why I just created him. Because here goes silly Deborah when I was a teenager. Why didn't you create him by himself? Why didn't you create them together? See, his mission had to be recognized by us. Her purpose also. And according for us to see each one of them purpose, he made sure he made man first. Man is carrying all the seeds, y'all. All the seeds. That's why he says to the men, your greatest enemy is of your own folks. So he let him know the ones that you brought forth is your enemy. Why? Because he knows, heavens knows, that the seeds were placed in man. He knows it. We as people today don't have no sense to grip it. It's something as simple as understanding that. When they look at the sperms, you see them all over the place. And if you really look, you'll see it almost like a light is on the tip of it. But when you get to the Gospel of John, chapter 1, I like this because without nobody knowing it, I knew it because of how nosy I am when it comes down to wanting to know. When it was said in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, and verse 4, in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light of men. So a lot of us don't understand, and we reject the fact that these babies that we have allowed them to not be responsible for because we thought belonged to us, and they got away with not being responsible and being the man that they were created in the beginning to be. Guess what? They got away from it, and it all come from out of them. So a lot of women end up with children that's like unto their fathers, and they knew not why. They felt it was their fault because they raised them, they sent them to school, they make sure they had what they had. But when these kids start to hit that 12 and 13, their true identity, not from the outside, but from the inside, kicks in, way beyond a mother. Mother, you can't do nothing with it. Ain't nothing you can do with it. Because you failed to realize who you were with. You didn't get to know him. You had babies because you just figured this is my husband. I'm going to have babies and we're going to be the happy little family. But you didn't understand what you were going to raise was his seeds. So you're going to get more of the children ways like unto the father. And a lot of people have a real hard time understanding that and don't understand why many women have said to their children over and over, you just like your father, you just like your father. You know what? A lot of y'all sick women is going to live and die sick. Because what you don't understand, a woman telling a son or a daughter, you just like your father, go back to the biblical. Go back to your instruction book that you call the biblical. Take you 15 verses, even when Yeshua said it, where it tells you the children are the fathers, and the iniquity and sin of the father is going to reign in the children 3 to 4 generations. So when you're running around here saying you like your father, they are like their father. That's what you call truth. But no, we don't want that dog. That he mine. I raised him. You raise them in your way, and they follow your order. You can raise them. They love it. They just everything. But once they hit that 12 and 13, 14, 15, now it's time for their true identity to pull up. And it ain't nothing you and nobody else can do about it. Because it tells you, and just like that video I showed y'all yesterday, that guy, he was a Secret Service man. He'd been with the government for, I think he said 8 years. And he worked some serious things. But he was telling this man about how he can be a good father. But he laid it out. And it bothers me. How can some men know this, But then you got Judith and Israel don't know nothing about anything. So when you're actually telling him he's like his father, he is. Only thing about it, what you've seen in the father, you now recognizing, you saying you just like your father. But it told you that the ways of the children comes out of the father. Now, what they can do is inherit the ways that you receive from your father. They can inherit those ways, still coming out of the father. And that's what people don't understand. So once the kids are grown, I don't care what you've done, how much you took care of them, how you instilled this and instilled that, how you sent them to school, you bought them their first car, you sent them to college. I don't care what it is. They're going to pull up with their other side, whether you like it or not. And you're going to be like, but I raised them right. I did everything. I was a parent teacher. I was a parent always involved in all their activities. And I took them here. I took them there. I did everything with them. I was, you were all that. But it ain't going to affect, it ain't going to do a thing for who they are. A thing. Not a thing. Because going back to what I was saying, we are in full disrespect to the Most High Yah when we think we can overrule what heavens has already assigned. He have assigned this order, and it's going to be the way he said. That's why I really have a thing for this I am. I have a different feeling for this I am, because to me, I can use I am who I say that I am. I am this, I am that. That's how I see Yah. You can be whatever you want to be, Father Yah. I'm with you. You are the I am. You this, you that, you am this, you this, you can be this, you can be that. Who can tell you what to do with what's yours and who you are? I love that word. And I am have created the children to come down the lineage of the Father. Woman don't have it. You are the incubator that carries it and brings it forth. By the time you bring it forth, it's off of your life. Now it's on the life of the breath of life and its own spirit when Yah gets to it. It has to hit Yah when it comes to the earth. It has to get the breath of life that gives them a spirit of their own. That's the true whole fact of it all, of a helpmeet in Genesis. You're going to help meet my will. So I'm bringing a woman, I'm going to create woman to be a help meet. He knew in Genesis, he already called them. So he knew that it was supposed to, everything on the earth should have been him and her. It never should have been him. Or it was them. Yah created it under them, not him. But the world that we're in created it under him. Okay? So this is why woman got kicked out. That's where you know some things took place in Genesis as far as in the garden and all of that, because it's things that doesn't make any sense. Even when I just told you where Adam really didn't get cursed, only Eve. And if you really look at it and measure it, you'll say, oh my goodness, that is so true. Because the same curse that it said that he was under, she was too. So where is it at? Where is it going? Where is it? I mean, what's going on? Now, when we go back into him and her, we have to understand that's two. Each one has their purpose and their mission from the kingdom. Both missions are not the same. You understand? Both missions are not the same. It was a reason why he created him first, and also put all the sperms in him, the seeds in him. It was a reason, because he wanted us to understand the order. So everything comes out of him. When I go back and I say, I see all these verses said, I'm going to visit the iniquity of the father, 3 and 4 generation. I'm like saying, Why does it keep saying that? It's because anything coming out is coming out of the men. And this is where the men is messed up from the floor of today. This is where you know that there is a lot of them are going to the opposite way. They think they're going one way, but they really gonna go the other one, because he wanted them to also look at that and measure that. They were to take that and see that, see, you took off your crown in the garden. You didn't take off your crown today. You took that out a long time ago, because you never recognized I called y'all them. But when it came down for you being created, I put the seeds in you. See, a lot of them thinking when they stand up there, they're going to be able to just stand and say, yeah, I own the church and I end up getting my life right. He's going to question them of the seeds that he placed in their wombs. See, they thinking he's going to really be talking about the talents. You see, they're going to think he's really talking about other things, but he's going to check them on that. Because if you trusted men with life, y'all don't get it, do you? I know y'all don't. He sat there and said it in the Gospel of John. Listen to what he said. In him, y'all talking about in me was life, and I trust it in man. And see, he's sitting here telling you, in the men. Let me show you right quick. The Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. And this is the sort of stuff I tell y'all, they ain't going to teach. They ain't going to preach. They're going to bypass all stuff. In in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4, it says, in him was life. In Yah was life. And the life was what? To give the light of men. To give men a light. Who is the capital light? Yah. Who is the lowercase light? Our spirit. He's letting you know that he put it in men. How do you know that? It's because when you drop down to verse 9, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9, that was the true light. They gave us the lowercase light. Watch this here. That was the true light which lit every man that cometh into the world. So when the woman brings forth this baby, you see, now this baby is going to receive the breath of life, the image of Yah through the breath. So that's how all of us, we all have a light, which is the breath of life. But life itself was placed in man. That's the seeds. He wanted letting them know that you're carrying all the light, which are the seeds, to come into the world. And see, they don't even understand that. They have no idea that they're carrying the light. 99.15 billion don't know that. No one ever taught them. So you get up to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. I'm wondering what's wrong with you. What's going on with you, Father, Yah? What's going on? You sound furious. He said, I am. Listen to what he said. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah, and the Word was Yah, and the same was in the beginning with Yah. Somebody tell me who I am. I am the Word, whether you like it or not. I heard a couple of verses said, and my name is the Word. While we chasing a name, somebody tell her, oh, his name this, his name is that, his name is that. But where are you in spirit and truth? Are you with righteous? Are you in belief, faith, fear of the Spirit? Where do you line up with that? Where's your fruit of the Spirit? Come on now, where's your ruach? Is the ruach of the Father resting in you? No, we so embedded in all these verses and scriptures that they have fed us throughout times that have been lied to, we still in that same darkness. We still in that same darkness. So I saw something else I wanted to cover. Oh, I wanted to cover reparation. Okay. This is what the Spirit said to me. I saw a couple of videos today, And they were speaking of reparation and how somebody voted it in, somebody didn't vote in. But after I just heard just that alone, the spirit of the Most High said to me, they would give reparations just to start a racial war. If Judith receives reparation, it will kick off a racial war. You all don't know about it, but those that's behind the power, that's behind, they already know how they're going to work it. Because right now, in the time that we're in, their best bet is to get the racial war going so that they can get away with the things they are stepping in. So the only way they can do that is to give one something that they don't give the other. Look at how they did the migrants. Look at all that they still giving them, and they have given them. Do y'all see what they're doing? Do y'all see all the taking lives that they're doing? If you go back to my videos, I've told y'all, those people that they allowed to come over here to this country were people who were in mental hospitals, in prisons, in camps, in camps like prison camps. These people were hardcore, dangerous people. That's why they had no problem coming over here to do whatever they wanted to do. All the money of this country couldn't stop them from being who they are inside. You see? And when they were giving them all of this, and they still giving it to them, and this country would not even seek to even come to some sort of finding of why are they doing this. They just letting them do it. But the moment they hand it to us, Judith, the moment they pass it, you're going to see the racial war begin. Now, there ain't no racial war toward those 10, 20 million they brought over here. They sitting there, don't have no problem with the system giving them everything. And they don't even know the monsters that they have with them. Ain't that deep? They don't even know who this country allowed and knew that they were sending from every country all they bad apples over to this country. It's because it's right back to Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. Let's go there. But the moment they say reparations for Judith, then will you see the racial war pull up. Right now, they don't have no problem with them giving 20 million people come to destroy them. They don't have no problem. They still giving it to them. And this country don't have no problem. You'll see nothing going on. But let them say they giving Judith reparation. They will cut up from the floor for real. And that's where you'll see what Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7 warned us of. That's when it's on. Only and only. Now, this is what the Spirit was saying to me. See, I was into eating. I had cooked me some dinner. I was sitting down and I'm listening to these people talking about reparation. And the Spirit said, Deborah, if they gave them reparation, that would start the racial war. Like I said, no problem giving all these other people that's coming over here. But to say that you're going to give those that have gone through something and help establish this country itself. Oh, no, we ain't. It's time to war. It's sad, but the Father told me that. And I said, oh, no, nope, yep. That's the whole idea. And guess what he said? The matrix, the system knows it. They knows it. They know what it's going to take to get that established. Like I told you, in my store, when they would come in, and we begin to talk about this country, the first thing these European men would say, but Deborah, you know, they're just trying to start a racial war. See, a lot of them know it, but they won't own up to each other that is actually taking place. But let them give Judah reparation. That's going to be a part of their plan. It's because then you will see the racial war start. If you think the racial war is now and have been in time past, you ain't seen nothing. Let them assign them a reparation. And they know it. No problem giving 20 million people from all over the world. No problem sending money over here and sending money over there. We don't have no problem. But you ain't going to get Judah no reparation. We're going to cut up from the floor up. It's time to war. That's what the Spirit told me today. And I thought that was so far out. I had to put it down. I said, I got to talk about that. I got to mention that. Oh, yes. He said, I got to just explain reparations, racial war. Now, y'all tell me, ain't that powerful? For the now, look, you think Sister Deborah gives a rep behind about any of it? No. I'm sitting here minding my business, and then the Spirit told me, Deborah, they know that that's going to be the key. They're starting. They go, even if they just say they're going to do it, not do it, but if they even say they're going to do it, then you're going to see the division in this country. Isn't that sad? That's where you know that this whole thing is a spiritual thing. That's where you know it is. That's where you know it's a spiritual thing. Okay? So, when I get to Revelation chapter 18, now watch what I'm trying to say to y'all. Now, right here in Revelation 18, it is actually telling you about all of these people coming in. It's telling you. It's telling you. 99.9 times 1 billion would deny it. It's right in their face. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2. And he cried. Now the angel is crying mightily with a strong voice. Right there, my question would be, Father, why he got to be strong? Why his voice got to be strong? What's going on? Why is he's mightily, why is it calling his cry mightily? And why is it he's given great power on the earth? And what's going on here? He said, keep reading, Deborah. Okay, let's go here. Babylon the Great is fallen and become an habitation. Look at the word become. Do y'all see the word become? Become is sending a sign that it wasn't that, but it's going to become that. And that's where the migrants came in. A resident. Listen to what it says. Its angel is crying mightily with a strong voice. I'm saying he mean business, don't he? If he got to say that loud, Babylon the Great is fallen and become the habitation of devils. What does that mean? A place they reside. Become a place that the devil is going to reside. Devils. And watch this here. And the holding of every foul spirit. These are all the migrants that they let over. And they're going to let over another, I think, 50 million, they say. But I'm just showing you. He did not say that this is what it is. He said it's going to become. So it wasn't a place like that at one time, but it's going to become that. As if in the end days, and this is only word it's talking about, the end day, that it's going to become the habitation of devils. And what else? And holding of every foul spirit. Now, you see that word holding? That's another warning word. They're going to be holding spirits, y'all. They're going to be holding these people. So he's trying to tell you the holding of foul foul spirits. So while they sitting here trying to get them all here and hold them here instead of sending them back when they're trying to cross, no, they want them here. They are holding them here. And they already know in the system, the matrix know that what Revelation is saying, they already check. They already know. So they know what they're doing. Okay. And then it says, is become the habitation of devils and a holding of every foul spirits. And the cage, they're going to put them in cage, in a sense, a place where they're going to be cage housed, okay? Of every unclean, hateful bird. Hateful. See? The government and the power that control the whole system. They knew it. That's why they let him come over. They fulfilling it. They fulfilling it. They are fully aware that Babylon has already fallen. Now they stepping into. Notice the angel have already called out. Babylon has fallen. Has fallen. You notice it says great. You know how Donald Trump said, let us make America great again. Notice here in Revelation chapter 18. When it called out Babylon, it says Babylon the Great is falling. And then it said it twice, is falling. Because I told y'all Babylon already fallen. They just trying to catch up to try to make things move in where they know they already planning on moving it into. You see, they got to get things into in a way that it's not a lifestyle nor a way people used to live or want to live. It's going to be off the chain. The minds of people is going to get chaotic. And I myself, this is me saying this. I haven't gotten that from the Most High Yah, but I feel that as long as Judah is in this land, too much as far as others countries coming after, they can't, as long as Judah is still here. You see what I'm saying? They can't come after this. But once Judah is out of here, then they will. So this is showing you how important for Judah to be on this land for the sake of everybody that's called it's a great old America. You see, their ignorance is not there to let them know that as long as those people are on that land, nobody can do nothing to that land. Do y'all get what I'm saying? You see the ignorance of people not knowing the truth of the whole matter of what is actually taking place. You see everything they doing and how they working on everything, and they setting everything up exactly like this says. But until Judah is out, okay, they can't, no one else, Russia or China or who else, or no one can come to seize this land or to destroy it in any form. It's destroying itself from the inside. So that's why Matthew 24 and verse 6 and 7 and verse 6, he told you, don't get caught up in the wars, y'all. You'll be thrown off. But you're going to have to know that it's going to be nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. So it's informing you there is going to be a lot of racial battle going on. Now, I know that many of you all probably ain't paid any attention to the fact that the 12-year-old who to see the two migrants took a life of another 12-year-old, raped her and killed her. I think it was yesterday, along with many. It's going straight on nationwide television telling you what they're doing. And ain't nobody said a word. Ain't that deep? Nobody said, wait a minute now, this is showing that we shouldn't have, this is, wait a minute, who are these people y'all got over here? You mean y'all brought these people over here? Y'all know that? No one questioned the matrix, the system. So what happens? Y'all bring them down. I brought them down, Deborah. I'm bringing them down. Because you sit here in this country, no one questioned nothing. Only thing people question is when we as Judah is doing something. That's when it wears up. But now they just don't understand revelation. Your matrix of this country already knew that they had to bring them over because Revelation said it. They brought them over. They fulfilling the revelation. It said a habitations of devils, foul spirits, hateful birds. Y'all, come on now. It's telling you. They said it's going to become this. And already they're talking about getting another 50 million in by the end of this year. Because I think after the end of this year, they're going to put a cap on letting any more come over. But they have been successful. Look at how they're taking lives of people. You see how they out here taking lives? Like it ain't nothing. You see? And it's no feeling. It's nothing there. Just like he said in Revelation. He told you who they were. He told you who they were. But nobody said a word. They let them come in. They didn't boycott. They didn't picket. They didn't freeze nothing. They didn't stand on the court, the White House porch. They didn't do anything. They let them pull all those things in Revelation 18 over here. What were they? Devils. Foul. What is it? Let me get it right. Devils and foul spirits and unclean, hateful birds. They let them come straight over, and ain't nobody said a muzzle word. I mean, not nothing. Everybody's mouth is muzzled. Nobody has said anything, and they constantly letting them over, and nobody said anything. See, a lot of them thought Trump was really serious about the wall. Trump wasn't going to be on no wall. He just had you thinking he was. See, he's a part of the game. That's how the game is being played. Just like a lot of people thinking when he get in there, if he get in there, it's going to be that. Y'all still ain't figured out the game. We have a power that rules this world. It's not, they're the one that says who gets in and who's not going to get in. But when they running, they have to make the fight worth a fight. They have to give the people the fight. They know it ain't nothing. I've seen even a couple of pictures where Trump and Biden standing there laughing at each other. I mean, side by side. See, people just don't know. This is all a game. It's all a part of the matrix of a system. And that is what Yah is bringing down. He's bringing that system down. He's bringing that system down because the system is what he's going to bring down from this country. Okay. And then he's going to bring the debris. The country's already down. Okay. The system is going to sell out their people. They're going to do it. They're going to sell out their people. They're going to do the bank thing. They're going to take everything you own, and and you know what? I understand why. I understand fully why the Father is setting it up like this, because a lot of people have not owned that thing. You know how I said Deuteronomy 28, what we did, that curse on us, I own that bad boy. I own it. I own it because the Spirit showed me and broke it down to me. So I can't, and it ain't nothing I can do but salute it and own that thing. I felt that thing. You know, I felt the reason why y'all did it. You see? And it's the same way I feel about him dealing with the United Snakes, period. I feel that thing. I salute that thing. I'm all for it. You see? Whether I'm here or not. If I got to go down with the ship, I'll go down with the ship. But I'm a salute he that has the power to bring the ship down, regardless. Because he shared these things with me so I would know. He didn't have to. I ain't nobody. But because of who he is to me, in me, is where he is that awesome teacher. And he teach these things and he break these things down. Now, another thing I was going to talk about is this here gathering with a 17-year-old who took two lives, and wounded 13 in the Juneteenth celebration. Somewhere we as Judith has not gripped that we are a sick people. We are a sick people. And because we are a sick people, we don't see nothing our sick tails are doing. We think it's all right for whatever we want to do and how we do it and the way we do it. It's okay. They can't even come together in twos, threes, and any more than even threes to come together for anything. For whatever the event was. That's why I never agreed for this here they put on this calendar. Because when we as a people come together, we right now at the stage of taking lives at a funeral, killing each other at a funeral, killing each other at a wedding. Y'all ain't seeing this stuff going on. This is the reality of it. But this is also things that nobody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to just say, oh, he come to get us and we going to the promised land. But y'all knows your heart that bypass all the wicked and evil and make everything about it okay because you think you going somewhere. See, you got to be able to divide that mess. You got to be able to divide that mess, or else you're going to go on that journey and you're going to be purged out. You'll never make it up to the promised land. Your butt going to be purged out. Because he definitely said it. I'm going to make sure I teach that tomorrow. He told Jeremiah, he said that he's going to purge them out on the journey. Oh, yes, he's going to purge your tail out. So while everybody's trying to say, I'm going, or he coming to get us, and we did, look, be right. To me, it's not about trying to get to the promised land. It's trying to get to be who he is in us. Righteous, just, upright. You see, we so busy trying to get to there, we ain't even got here. Because we trying to get all the way to Mount Zion. Because we think we entitled to something. But then down deep, we don't see no wrong in our own nation. And then that same nation end up going with you to the journey and make you live a living hell before you get to the promised land. Because that's exactly what it's going to be. You think he going to purge them out for nothing? Because the type of chaos going to be going on. It's the reality of where we at today. But to me, the most positive and best thing to do is to see that mess for what it is. So when it's time for you to swoop the coop out of here, you've been in, hey, I seen that then. I knew it was like that. I knew that, we doing this, we did this. I knew when you own that thing. But see, what people do want to make Yah a lie and we the truth. We got to own our ugliness, our wickedness, and the things that our men are doing. And women, we need to stop supporting all this wrongdoing that they're doing and making it right. Because if you support it and you act like you got a blind eye, the Father already said, you're not of him. You're not of him when you think that you don't see these things going on. Or I ain't got nothing to say, that's them. I ain't got nothing to look. I got a lane. I got a lane to run in. I could say the same thing. But what the Father said, I let you see it, Deborah, for what it is. And you are not denying that my word in which I have prophesied is walking out. Instead of lying, said, oh, no, it ain't walking out. I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing wrong with what they doing. That's a lie. We are an ugly people and always been. To who? The Most High God. Own that thing. But we can't because we feel that we all let in something. I'm the one going. I'm going to the promised land. With me, I'm already in the promised land. I'm in him and he is in me. What kind of promise am I looking for outside of that one? He's already greater in me than he that is in the world. So the promised land can't outweigh what is already great in me. And he's teaching me and showing me things, revealing things, comforting me, and showing me his prophecies that's coming to pass. And even with Revelation 18, I sit back and I said, Father, they don't even touch that. It's sitting and actually happening. Today, I've seen 4 migrants taken away from killing 4 people. And in my mind, I'm like saying, why is it nothing said? Oh, they killed them. They go back to the next 2 or 3 days, it's all over. Then the next one come up and do the same thing. It's actually showing you whether you want to see it or not, that revelation still walking itself out. But there's another way you can see it. It's when y'all let it come to your door. That's another way that you can see. It's when y'all allow it to come to your door. Because a lot of us thinking it's not, we exempt from the prophecies itself. When these things are actually taking place, it's nothing wrong with seeing them and calling them out as he has prophesied. But to turn around and act like Judith is an angel sitting on a tree, y'all sick as I don't know what. But you'll find out who Judith really is when you go on that journey and you see them cutting up. You're going to say, I remember Sister Deborah said, we can't even get along. We can't do nothing together. Here we are going to the promised land and look at them shooting and killing one another. That's exactly what you're going to see. You're going to see it. Why? Because you ain't going to get cleaned up. You ain't going to get a new heart, a new spirit, a new name, and you ain't going to get nothing until you get there. So your journey there is what you're going to face. And I don't blame the Father. Because I think a lot of people are going to escape denying all things. But he's going to purge all y'all bad tales on that journey. Because when you're thinking you're heading to the promised land, he's going to let you know. You get off right here, baby. You get off right here. He said, Jeremiah said, he's going to purge them. Separate the rebels. See, he know what he's doing. See, and we thinking he's a play toy and he don't know what he's doing, but we do. Something wrong with him and ain't nothing wrong with us. But we are in full denial of what is actually taking place. We are in 100% denial. Now, we ain't supposed to eat it up every day and embrace it every day. It's just the ideal of, I noticed that not just on this platform, but nobody is saying anything about nothing we as a people are doing and have done. We just think we the good people and everybody else the bad. But y'all's going to deal with that. So I, Sister Deborah, say to you all, I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. And I will be back, and I hope you got something out of that. And again, stick with the twos. It'll take you a mighty long ways. Shalom and shalom.